And in spite of it being Christmas, I mean, I suppose it's a time for bearded weirdos. I mean, I hope none of the other two have been jumping down chimneys and that sort of thing. But we are back. It is obviously myself, the biggest, sauciest man of the festive season, and of
Big-
course the Demon Ranger. How are we, boys?
If you insist. But yeah, no, pretty good, guys. How are you guys going?
I'm alright.
I'm not too bad on. I mean, I don't mind dating these things. It's Boxing Day, so Merry Christmas, gents. And it is a whole year. Well, I say nearly a whole year worth of 0 to 16 we've done. Or at least it's the back in the 22, the first year we've done it.
It really is, isn't it? Which is, I don't know, frightening to think that we've done this for so long and that we keep doing this for some reason.
Yeah, I would have said it's a marvel to behold, but I'll save that for the Sandscour Great Bow, George. So you're all good on that.
Rude.
Yes, but no, I think it's one of those. I think obviously we're now at the back end of the year, so it'd be quite nice to just do obviously year in review almost, and then we can do a bit of looking ahead. But before we do that, there are little bits of news because, as always, we time things wonderfully. And as soon as I've just finished editing and pressed the button to post the last episode, Mr. White, in all his wisdom, good old Whitey, published the OP announcement. Have you boys had a chance to peruse it and all its many changes for next year?
Certainly did. I think I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about the changes even after reading it. To be honest, because I know there were some good things with I think if this when Scott finished 13th in the calling, 10-3, I believe that if it was the old system, if the new system that come in, he would have got into top 8 and tiebreakers. So I think for bigger callings, it's actually quite beneficial that
So how come?
specific change because
So which change is that?
uh, this is what I don't know. I need to go fucking get the
Yeah,
announcement. I don't know.
without looking it
Yeah.
up, I believe they've changed the pricing structure for larger callings because it didn't really scale very well, I don't think, and
No.
didn't change based on something like it was similar to I think like the Battle Hardens and stuff like that. Where you had to be, it was very very top heavy, if I remember correctly. You had to finish quite high.
Oh,
No, I know.
maybe I'm
I
wrong.
know.
Maybe it was the fact that he gets top 8. Maybe he just gets more money.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
you
that was it.
definitely get paid out more. So I know that obviously from previous experience, I think it was Utrecht without again starting the year in review. I think it was you had to 6-0 in the Battle Hardened in draft,
Hmm.
or you
Yeah,
had to 5-1 with the
the
one being the last round.
some of the big Battle Hardens were definitely the toughest thing to get there. You literally couldn't take a loss in some of them, which is just terrible.
But I mean, I don't know about you boys if you agree. The biggest bit of news is we're only getting one Pro Tour.
Yeah, I think that's the definite downside of this announcement, right? Is that obviously going down to one Pro Tour is going to be a shame. They've already confirmed that it will be in the US, which I mean, although it makes sense, it's just a bit sad.
See,
Yeah,
is the
because
problem only having one Pro Tour, or is the problem the fact that the only Pro Tour is in America? That's the question.
I mean, they're the same problem, right? If we had more than one Pro Tour, I doubt the other one would be in the US.
Yeah, but it could be like APAC, right? Or Asia.
That is true. That is true. I mean, but then they haven't had one yet, and I'd feel fine with that. I think giving the US another one right after they've had Worlds is a bit of a shame. Like I say, I understand it. It is the biggest market. It's just a bit of a shame that
Makes a lot of sense.
that it's going to be the US again, and that no one else is gonna get one.
yeah, because I mean, just to recap for everyone, so they've kind of announced the three. I think they called them seasons off the top of my head. So for what's going to happen is there's going to be a product release. So we know obviously Outsiders is the 24th of March with pre-releases on the 20th. There's now going to be a pinnacle event that goes with that, which will be in this case the Pro Tour. And then there's the seasonal program, which is the thing that will be run at local game stores. So that I think that's supposed to be Road to Nats in the first skirmish season, I think. And that's all between March and June. Then July, September will be an expansion set this year. So we do get 2 draft sets, which is nice. Which will then be National Championships and then Skirmish Season 7. And then finally, October to January, we get the second standalone set. Obviously, we don't know the name of it, but it will be the best booster draft experience that we've ever known in Fab, because every new set is. And there'll be World Championships and ProQuest as the seasonal program. So it is quite a big change from what we had. So obviously I don't know how it from a store perspective as well. If people found out suddenly actually this is the only ProQuest, or the fact they've not got a ProQuest, they know it's now they've not got one this year. I don't know if that is kind of a big deal to them or not, but even just as players, it feels like a huge change, like not only having the one.
Yeah, I think we might be seeing a bigger change in that for the number of ProQuests, just because obviously we're not in the region that the Pro Tour is going to be at. I believe they do weight it more heavily to the region that it's going to be in. So I imagine that there's probably still quite a few scheduled in the US. But
Yeah, I think
we've definitely got less.
they've done that for every Pro Tour so far, haven't they? Whoever's been the host has got more. I think France had more for Lille as an example as well. But
I think we just had more in general for Europe. I think on a continent basis as much as anything else, just for the ease of getting there, I imagine, and traveling to the event.
Yeah. So what do you think, Liam? Is it a good thing or a bad thing that we've only got one? We'll then move on to the fact it's in the US.
I can see the benefits of both. I think the thing is, didn't they change the pricing structure for it anyway?
Yeah.
So
So they have
Pro Tour's worth more money. So it is having two just in one.
Yeah, so they've effectively doubled the prize pool for this, so it's incorporated. So there's no loss of prizing. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, so I think,
and whether it's the prizing goes deeper or it's bigger, I'm not entirely sure how it works.
Because of that change, maybe it's fine that there's only one. I probably would have liked two, but I can live with one if it's worth more to me. It's still the same, right? Like you qualify for one Pro Tour and you compete for double the amount of money, or if there's two Pro Tours, you compete for the same amount of money but split down, but you're giving yourself more chance to win a Pro Tour if there's two Pro Tours you qualify into.
Yeah, I think that's quite a narrow perspective myself. I'd have much sooner seen two, just because, sure, in monetary value alone, it's the same. For the people who don't want to travel halfway across the world, it's a huge difference.
It's also true.
The ability to attend one Pro Tour is significantly more than the ability to attend zero. So I don't know. I'd as much sooner seen them keep the prize pool the way it is, and just run more. To be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing I thought, outside of obviously the structure of how Worlds was last year, is if there's only one Pro Tour, it doesn't feel that different to a Worlds event. In that there's only one of each year. It's not like Worlds now feels like it is the big premier event. Obviously, I know it was the sort of tri-format event rather than the usual draft and CC. But how they do that this year, they've not gone into that much detail. But I don't know. I kind of get it. Obviously, for us, where we travel to everything, regardless of if it's in the US, it does halve our travel costs because we're only doing one. So hopefully that Pro Tour will be better attended. Not that I think the other two last year had attendance problems. So yeah, it's almost I don't quite understand why they've made that change. But I'm kind of okay with it. I think I prefer two.
Yeah, I'd prefer two. I think I don't know. It's just unexpected for me. If anything, I would have been expected to see more Pro Tours, because let's be honest, calling it a Pro Tour when there's one of them is kind of stretching the definition of tour. But
yeah,
it's. I was kind of just expecting them to expand the number, not decrease them. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not. Like you guys have said, it's not the end of the world. The event was still incredibly well run when we went, so I would go again to another one.
Yeah,
this won't change my mind.
And then I mean, I think the fact that I think it's kind of allied with the fact that it is in the US, has probably made me feel a little bit more salty towards it. I think the fact they've just, Worlds is there, which looked like a fantastic event. The first Pro Tour was there, which was a very good event. It's like, I'm not even saying we should do it. It should be in Europe. To be honest, I feel like APAC kind of deserves it.
I guess the question that follows up from this then really is do we they haven't announced it, but do we expect Worlds to be in the US again this year?
I think so.
I have a horrible feeling it would be the same, but I mean, if it is, then it starts to feel incredibly US heavy.
Yeah, I'd love to say it won't be. I'd love to say it's in Europe for obviously from an entirely selfish perspective, it makes it very much easier for us to travel there. If it was APAC, I'd be far more excited to go there. You know, if it's somewhere like Thailand or something like that, because they've held some big competitions. They've also just done the Fab to Japan kind of announcement, a bit like they did with Fab to Brazil. And Japan's a huge market for games like this. Not sure they do a Pro Tour there yet, but
Yeah,
APAC feels like it deserves something.
I'd be a bit surprised if they were to put Worlds out there before running a Pro Tour. I'd have thought, a Pro Tour would give them a good chance to test, that sort of like scale event on an area first before they'd even think about moving Worlds. But at the moment, I just can't see Worlds being outside the US, sadly.
Yeah.
I'd love to be wrong. Absolutely love to be wrong on that one.
James White must have. I know he hated the tent, but you can take it to any US city and host it there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to say that it wouldn't be in the US, but I really couldn't see past it. I mean, so aside from that, it does seem like there were quite a lot around how they want to run more callings, they want to run more battle hardens, and they want to make a bit more of a deal of Nats by the sound of it as well.
Yeah, it really does sound. I think this kind of falls into some of the more positive aspects. I think of this announcement. That, although we haven't got like hard fast dates for a lot of these things, it is still great that we're getting this forward. Planning.
Yeah.
We're hearing about it now because we couldn't have dreamt about this last year, right? We never would have believed that you'd get this much notice before before something. Even if we don't know exactly where it's going to be, which would obviously be the ideal scenario.
Do we know about what? Because obviously we had New Jersey was what, March? No, it was May because it was your birthday.
It was
wasn't
May, yeah.
May, yeah.
Yeah. Did we? At what point did we find out about New Jersey?
I can't remember. It was. I mean, the Pro Tours were reasonably far ahead, just because obviously you had to have the ProQuest seasons that led up to them. But even then, I suppose we didn't actually find out about the 90-day XP windows normally until we were inside them.
Yeah.
It was normally like, oh, it's already begun about 2 weeks ago. Oh, cool. Yeah. I guess I should have been trying a bit harder then, but
Yes, those fun decks should have gone away.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I can't remember exactly how much notice we had before, but I know particularly for a lot of the small events, the callings, which to be fair, they've obviously made a bit of an effort to announce some of those now. We've got the Battle Harden leads coming up as well, which has been pegged in for a while, which is good.
Well, they've still got that calling in the UK this year, which
yeah,
they're doing that on short notice.
They are running out of time. So if James needs a hand getting it together, just give me a shout. I'll happily point him in the direction of the NEC. But apart from that, I can't really be much help. But yeah, we really need to get this going. So
yeah, I mean, on a more serious note, I'd like to see, hopefully we get something a bit more than a Battle Harden this year.
Yeah, we really do need the UK calling. I feel like for the size of the scene and the level of competitive play we've got here in the UK, it'd be lovely to have a calling hosted here.
It'll probably be in London. They can then use just London calling as a usual thing that people do. So,
oh please, anything but London.
Like I say, I'm all for Birmingham getting it. I'd love Manchester to get it, but I'm also slightly realistic in that London's probably got a slightly broader appeal to the continent than Birmingham.
Yeah, it hasn't to my wallet though, so
No. Like I say, everyone in Britain's probably going outside. Who doesn't live within the M25 is going. I want to. I want to keep it anywhere but London, but.
Yeah, and I mean, if anyone is listening, if you want to, when you're organising UK Nats this year, please, anything but London.
Yeah.
Please put it somewhere else. Hotel prices are not nice there. Just give us a break from it. Go back to Leeds, somewhere else, anywhere really.
Manchester
would be ideal. Thank you.
Leeds, Manchester, Birmingham.
No.
I'd maybe not Dublin because they've got their own, haven't they, in Ireland? So.
Oh yes.
Is the UK could have one nice one in Wales where I am at the moment, or Scotland? So at least it's prettier up there than London.
That would have made it even more awkward when they had the snafu with the trophy, though.
Yeah, get some have a Scottish champion trophy. I do wonder what happened to that other one. Yeah, I think.
I imagine it was swiftly sent back, to be honest.
Any last things on the OP boys, or I think we've covered off that article in enough depth anyway?
No, nothing too much from myself. I think we've covered a lot of it. I think a lot of it's a big improvement. Great to see that they're still putting money into the into the high level events and everything else, which was to be expected. But I think it all looks good going forward. And I don't know about you guys. I'm just looking forward to ProQuest season this January and getting started in another competitive season of Fab.
I mean, I was until I played Icelander games again, and then just lost the will to live.
Please, I need a competitive playback. My brain needs something to think on.
There's only so much Talishar that Liam can play. This is
Yeah.
Well, I didn't
That's
realize,
the thing.
honestly, I feel like this year my brain's been so fucking busy just concentrating on Fab. After Worlds, I was sat here, I was like, it's empty. I'm just thinking about stuff I was just like, I don't need to think about anymore. I was like, go away. Give me Fab back. I need to be busy. I'm over anything and it's like, go away. No, give me Fab
Liam's
back.
just having an existential crisis on.
I even tweeted it out, to be fair.
And as great as winner boxes are, they're not quite scratching that itch for you, are they?
I mean, you say that, mate. You haven't turned up to a couple of them, and they've been stacked. So our winner boxes aren't normal level winner boxes at this rate.
Just casual, like 6 participants at Worlds in one winner box.
Oh yeah,
6 participants at Worlds. Casual top 8s at Worlds, PT winners. That's the kind of caliber that we get to. Just win a box of Dynasty for a tenner.
Exactly. This is in like a 12-person event or something as well, 16-person event, and it's like, oh great, my odds of hitting somebody who's either won a major event or very much got to the top end of a major event is huge here.
To be fair though, at least everyone who plays is nice. We can't complain about that.
Oh yeah, no. To be fair, they've been great, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some competitive Fab again.
Yeah, it's what can we do? I think we need to get a bit of competition back, and life will be better, and at least it will be for Liam anyway.
Please,
and I think
there's only so much I could take.
I mean, at least you've thoroughly stress tested Talishar.
Oh, I think he's responsible for about half the games on Talishar.
Yeah,
not quite.
You know, nearly. I think the only
that much.
Liam, what time did you go to bed because you were playing Talishar the other day?
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not every night.
Is it not?
No, sometimes
it will
2.
be. It will be every night. I want to get ready for Valhalla. That's why I'm not doing it every night, because it's got to be every night.
Oh, goodness me.
Oh, you're a mad bastard. But then I think the only other thing on the Fab website, a nice Christmas message from Mr. White, was the new kind of lore article. A bit more of a fun one. We few interesting bits.
Take it away then, Brooks.
Well, I was going to, seeing as I'm the only person who cares.
You are the only person who's read it, but I think it's nice to say that they managed to drop the article on the 26th, which was maybe slightly unfortunate timing. I'm not sure how it wasn't quite ready for Christmas, which is a bit of a shame.
It's great. To be honest, it's not a bad article. It's worth a read as like a bit of a light-hearted thing. Lena Bell, we get confirmed, is an alchemist, so whether that changes anyone's bets for a new class being in Outsiders is interesting. Funny bit where she covers one of Azalea's arrows in one of her things and makes it explosive. Arachne makes an appearance. Dash makes an appearance. And Azalea, it's all about a raid on a toy factory, them actually doing some good, but it's interesting it does give us 4 heroes, all from 4 classes, one of which is new, and all of them associated obviously with the pits or metrics. So it's whether it's people think this is a bit of a nod towards what we might be seeing in Outsiders or not. And it ends with the shitty Christmas present art, which is nice.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I think it's probably a decent chance. I think now that might be the classes we see in Outsiders.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure whether Alchemist was going to be a new class introduced so soon after we got Assassin. I think some of the bits that James White said around, the stocks of the Cold Four potions would be going up. Seeing so Lena Bell is the blue haired character in Shitty Christmas Present. She's also, I think, she's not the one that's in Cut to the Chase. It very much looks like her. Then having characters like Azalea, who has pretty much been confirmed, Arachne, who I'd be very surprised if he wasn't. Kind of, maybe this is the four that we get, and it does mean we can do something quite lore heavy around it, around the
Yeah,
set.
yeah, he's hoping so. We don't really know what direction they're going to take the Pit storyline in yet. I guess I guess there wasn't much in the way of nods in the article or anything like that. I didn't read it myself, but
No, it was more. I mean, it was very Christmas themed in that it was all four of them working together. So whether outsiders is a bit like a heist kind of thing, it's very much Azalea. The more watching Arachne clears the path, you probably these creepy shinies and making people what was that? Make the red water run or whatever he says in the other article. The creep, which does make me love him a little bit more. Makes him think of a bit more of a Golem character. But then the fact that it's how they all work together, and then Dash charges in with a stupid like train kind of thing, and then they steal all the presents, and then they're opening them, and that's what City Christmas Present is. But I think from a story perspective, they did do something like around the contracts and around them working together as a gang. I could kind of see it because they want, especially how they did with Uprising, they wanted to make them very story focused, and then how Dynasty then built on top of that as well. So I'm quite, I wouldn't now, I definitely now wouldn't be surprised if we got another new class. But how that plays out for draft, but we know that's probably going to be that'll be the draft set for Pro Tour 1. Well, Pro Tour
yes,
this year.
for the Pro Tour of the year.
Yeah, be quite interesting. So, I think that's kind of all the Fab news that's going on at the moment. Well, everything else seems to have been pretty quiet over the festive period.
Yeah, not unexpected though. I guess it was always going to be our quiet time. And to be fair, with the year we've had and how jam packed it's been, unlike Liam, I've been somewhat enjoying it. A little bit of time off from Fab. He's given me a very strange look there. Like
I was thinking, where's he going with this? Like, does he not think I've enjoyed going around the whole year? And then he went, unlike I've had a day off. I was like,
yeah, exactly. Some of us, Liam, found it quite an intense schedule of Fab this year. Don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but no, it has been quite nice to have December be slightly quieter.
Yeah, to be able to, just put the cards down for 10 minutes, switch on Civ 6,
yes,
play a bit of Marvel Snap. There's a whole lot of other things we've been able to do over this slight downtime.
It isn't the just, and yeah, I mean, even then, like even just playing Fab, it's been nice to crack out the fun decks for a while. Just try something just because you feel like it, instead of what you need to either to either try and keep some XP or to practice for the next big tournament or anything like that. It's just been nice to pull out some decks that you just think might be fun.
Aggro Arachne. Thank you, Twitter, for putting me on that one.
Though I'm still disappointed they didn't put you on Azalea, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, well, this is why we said you should have Twitter. Maybe that can be your New Year's resolution. I know Liam's a big fan of New Year's resolutions.
oh, for fuck's sake.
So actually, yeah.
He's just got a New Year's resolution to have a New Year's resolution. But unfortunately, he's failing that one.
Yeah. But, if you'd had that, you could have voted and put me onto Azalea.
That is true, and that is a failing on my part, but I am spared Twitter, which also is quite good.
You only have to log in usually on a Sunday. Was when I used to put a poll of what deck. Just do that, log out again. You don't need to deal with the rest of it. You don't need to deal with Elon's failings, although he's gone now.
That's it. It's what it does sound worth creating a Twitter account for, just if I can make you play some stupid and completely unreasonable decks.
Yeah, I mean, I do play them.
Yeah.
One thing I have stuck to my guns. What Twitter has told me to play, I have.
Maybe next time we can all get him on Datadog.
You see, the problem there is I still make the options.
I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can take that. I've still got access to the 0 to 60 Twitter account. So
do I.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of you do. Because
Exactly.
we are democratic in that we have access to everything.
We are not democratic. There's no democracy here.
No,
Me
the
and
data
George are
team is still
prisoners.
locked in.
Exactly. We are held against our will.
You are, but you've got slightly more freedom in that you actually get a couple of hours of sunlight or option to have sunlight, whereas the data team is locked in the
Wait.
basement.
George got that offer?
Yeah.
I don't remember getting
That wasn't really my contract.
I don't remember getting that at all. It's
No,
all lies,
now
mate.
it's very well, George. It was the fine print underneath the we can play Civ 6,
Shit,
and it was in fine print, or you may go outside.
Oh damn! Unfortunately, I'm a sucker for Civ, so what can I say?
Well, you did manage to break that anyway, so goddamn Babylon. But anyway, that's I think all the fab news. So I guess it's really, I think we've done a lot this year. It is worth, I think, recapping that I think we did our first episode almost back in February, I think it was. Off the back of us talking till Liam's usual bedtime on Talishar.
Yeah, but this
Talking
was
about
this was in
Everfest.
the pre-Talishar days, though.
He didn't have anything else to do at 3 a.m.
So instead, he would stay up talking to us idiots about anything and everything to do with flesh and blood.
Well, talking to us or keeping us up?
Both? Can it not be
I
both?
know, like, I'm just there. You can fucking come and go as you please.
Well, no, you say that. I remember when we first started talking, and I was like, boys, I'm not going to lie, it's 2 a.m, I'm going to bed. And just getting pelters from you two until I stayed on.
You see, but this was different because this was spoiler season, and spoiler season is a completely different thing. In which, if you're not staying up to the next spoiler, what are you even doing?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it was staying up till 3 a.m. to see the potion of clarity get spoiled.
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate that it was Everfest. I'm not going to lie to you, because it was some of the most fucking disappointing spoilers. It's only 2 hours to the next one, and it'll be 3 a.m. Oh, sweet. Fucking potion of ablation. Great.
Without that, this doesn't happen, so...
This is true.
So what I'm hearing is Everfest has got more to answer for.
Yeah, it's inflicted more pain on people than it did before.
Damn.
Than they even knew it before. But also we've had a couple of trips. We've had New Jersey was kind of the first major outing. We actually got let into the US, which was a surprise at times.
Yeah, it was
we
good
actually,
to know.
Without getting arrested, in spite of some of Charlie's attempts.
Charlie did try on at least one occasion.
Yeah, I think some of my favourite travel stories this year, Charlie is responsible for.
Yeah, he's that sort of guy. So, but yes.
We love you, Charlie. But we had, obviously me and Liam had Utrecht. We had Madrid as a team, which I think better than any of us hoped, dreamed, or expected.
Yeah, it's got to be the high point of our fab so far. To be fair, I think Madrid was completely unexpected, but I will say it. Winning it with you guys, or winning what we did with you guys and getting the top four was better than doing it by myself. By all means, it was
100%.
Spectacular.
No, I think the fact that we managed to 6-0 a team calling on day one, and it then turns out to be the only team in the world, and considering a certain person's proclivity on the podcast for playing this boring deck, we're the only team in the world not to have an Oldhim.
Which is shocking looking back at it. Like you say, I can't believe he didn't take Oldhim.
You know what? I was right as well, I think.
I mean, results would suggest we were right.
And, we knew that... Yeah, I mean... The thing was, right, your Lexi deck, you know how to beat the Oldhim deck. Because I played it so much, we practiced it. And then...
Just make sure they don't know how damage prevention increases work.
Yeah, that certainly helped.
That guy threw the whole game, but anyway. But that's part of the knowledge, right? They didn't have it. They thought the rules was wrong, and he got clowned on. And he deserved it after he tried to tell me that I couldn't talk to George for standing up too high, which was bollocks.
When you check with the judge beforehand.
Exactly. But then obviously I took Brian that day, and Lion obviously knew how to beat Oldham as Briar, so I think it was a weird decision for outsiders looking in, but I think we had the right plan.
Yeah, we definitely made the right choices for ourselves. I think it might be slightly misleading to say that we made the right decision when every other team had an Oldham.
Yeah, but
it objectively was the right deck. It was the right decision for us, though, 100%.
But it was, I mean, I think that was the moment when I really realised quite how peak athletes we were. In that Liam looked like a corpse walking on day 2. I was throwing up day 1 because I was not well.
Yeah, you two, some reason, performed absolutely your best at Fab. Like, if you're ever playing against either Liam or Brooks, and you sit down and they look like death, just concede, just give up, just walk away from the table, because that's when they're at their most dangerous for some reason. I don't know why. I felt fine in Madrid. But these guys, they turn up for a call in, whatever, and they're well rested. They've been drinking water and just making sure they're hydrated and everything else. They play like shit. On the other hand, when they turn up and ill and dying, that's when you need to be afraid.
That's when we just want the games to be over fast, so we play aggressive. Which is probably again why playing a fatigue Oldham was a bad choice.
The sad part is, it's actually true. New Jersey, right? The thing is, like, go through all my events. New Jersey, I did shit. I was fine the whole trip. Utrecht, I was fine the whole trip.
Oh, that was a low point for you.
Madrid, I was basically dead. We top 4 the calling. Lille, I was basically dead. I cashed a Pro Tour. Nats, I was dying at Nats, and I top 8'd Nats. I was fine at Worlds, and I flunked it.
So what I'm hearing here, Brooks, is if we're about to go into a major tournament and he's feeling okay, we can just kneecap him.
No, but it's not pain. It's not like I'm crippled. I need to be like just feeling ill.
Okay, fine. We can poison him then.
To be fair, on that basis, I should have definitely gone to Worlds with my kidney. Hamilton would have stood no chance.
Jesus.
But yeah. But no, but it was, like I say, Madrid was just this really funny moment where, like, I think we said it in the episode we did with Dave, like, it was the first time I'd definitely achieved something with, like, a hobby or a card game, and it was just this weird thing of, oh shit, we've actually done a thing. And then, obviously, we got our gold foils and we got paid, and I was like, well, this is the first time I've ever been paid for doing my hobby. This is great. We should do this more often. Why don't I win more? Answer, I'm usually too healthy. So no, I think there's like Madrid. I think definitely goes down as a high point, although not my favourite story of the year. I still think my favourite story of the year does not go to any of us, but was the sheer pleasure in watching Scott Mines at Lille when he played against a Bravo who forgot to present their weapon. Honestly, to this day, that's still my favourite thing that's happened.
Let's be honest. That man had the run of his life to make it as he did on Icelander. To get paired into Illusionist round 1, round 2, and then a Bravo that forgot Anathos was quite something.
That man woke up and he chose violence.
He certainly did.
And his opponents apparently chose not to present weapons. I do wonder if the Illusionists were actually presenting Luminaris at that point. I think Prism was still a thing then.
It was the last Prism event after all, which was gone after that for me. That was the last major one at least.
Because that's another thing to remember. This is the first year we've had Heroes LL, and we've seen 3 of them.
And I don't miss any of them.
No, I do not miss Starvo. Captain Planet can stay dead.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We had Chain finally disappear, and after all the pain he's caused, and I still think Prism going is potentially one of the best things that's ever happened in my life.
So what we're saying is we're dead excited for the Living Legend format.
Yes. My God, if I ever have to face down and, well, it'll happen because they are going to print another one. when they do Arclight Sentinel, and I've got no way to play around it. I've played all three of my Iron Song Prides. I've got four. I could have 14 counters, and it's irrelevant.
Fuck that! Imagine Starvo with Insidious Chill turn 0.
Oh god, that'd be grim. Yeah.
Just
No,
imagine
to be
that.
honest, the worst bit isn't even turn 0, mate. It's when he does a large attack and then instead of hammering, just drops an Insidious Chill.
And then draws fuse. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Okay, I guess this game's done.
The answer there is you concede, you go to the bathroom, and you have a little weep.
I mean, that's pretty much what the Starvo season was.
Yeah.
And that was without Insidious Chill anyway.
And that was with me on Starvo. I was still weeping.
Yeah. I mean, it was not the greatest season.
No, that was one of the more interesting moments of the year of seeing you genuinely play the best deck, but hate every single second of it.
That's kind of why, like, Fab Dilemma every fucking time, to be honest. Because I hate all the good decks, apart from all.
Yeah.
And then,
sorry, he said good decks.
And then, like, if I want to play, like, even then I want to play Fatigue all. I mean, it's not even good. Like, if I want to have fun, it has to be a bad deck. It's just that feels like fucking George Ranger.
Well, I was going to say, welcome to my world, mate. Welcome to my world.
Hey, Lexi's been doing things again.
She did a thing. This is true.
She beat Bravos, mate. That's his things.
She did, but she so far has done a thing. You know, like we've done a thing, and I'm still not claiming we're good.
I mean, to be fair, I think was it the same tournament? A Reinhardt also won a Battle Hardened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Lots of strange things happen in the world.
Copium.
Liam cannot resist hearing the word Reinhardt without following it up with copium.
No, I mean it's very. It feels a little bit like the monkeys and the typewriter and the works of Shakespeare kind of thing. Which eventually it was going to happen that these decks do a thing in the same way one day Azalea will do a thing. The stars will align.
Well, if you believe LSS, she's gonna be good. So,
didn't Azalea win Polish Nationals? Or did she not? Was it top 8? Did she top 8?
She top 8. She top 8 and lost to an Oldhim in which I think they tried to play the full combo. Yeah. And then I think there was just a very poorly timed tear asunder. And
perfectly timed tear asunder.
Terribly timed. Yeah, I agree.
Everyone. No,
there's 2v1 here, right? This
no one in
the
world.
It is, yeah. Brooks, just edit him out right now. We'll just edit him. Just cut it.
So rude.
Well, I think everyone in the world wanted the Azalea to win that match.
Except me.
Except you and the rest of the most boring fan club in the world.
Do you know what? I imagine like the Oldham fan club is a bit like for anyone who's watched Zootopia, the DMV with all the sloths. Just people playing very slowly, talking very slowly, being very boring.
We don't know. You know what, right? This is about a year in review. This is an attack on Oldham. So
I know, but
let's get back on tangent.
It does sum up our year quite nicely.
To be fair, it's a good point. It's a good point for a year in review on the basis that most Oldham games take a year.
Yeah, you're probably just finishing your first Oldham game, actually, aren't you?
You are idiots.
Now that sums up our year in review.
Well, now I think going back to year in review, not just attacking Oldham. I think we've seen those three heroes LL. We've seen all the new heroes get added. Fies, Dromais, Icelander was new. She came in Everfest. We've had Arachne arrive, so I think we're up one on the hero pool this year. No, we're up a couple because
no, just in terms of the number of available heroes, you mean? Because we've obviously had which added a bunch.
Yeah, but we only had the one. I only had a couple of CC heroes though. We don't count Blitz here. Blitz isn't the thing.
Yeah, we've had 4 heroes added this year.
Yeah, so we had 4 come in and 3 go out. That's what he means by one.
Oh, I see what you
mean.
Yeah.
So we're one up on the hero pool, which is cool. Not sure if we'll see another 3 heroes LL next year.
Now they've changed the points. Yeah, I could see it slowing down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, everyone wants Briar to go.
And is expecting, I think, as well.
Yeah, no one wants to see Rosetta Thorne in the game longer than it has to be.
No.
And then it's one of those. I mean, what's your boys' high points for the year?
Go on, George.
Oh, trying to find something of an answer here that isn't Madrid. For pretty much what I summed up already is really hard.
You won an RTN. That was cool.
That was cool. That was cool. I enjoyed that. Don't get me wrong. Like, winning's great, but even though we didn't win it, Madrid was amazing. Again, even though I did all levels of shit in a lot of the other tournaments I went to, driving to Lille was a real big point. You know, getting to travel with you guys and with Scott as well. But I think probably actually the first Pro Tour was one of my highest points. Being out in the US for my 30th birthday was pretty impressive, and to spend it with you guys and playing Fab was great. Even though, you know, those terrible people just wouldn't let me win despite the fact that it was my birthday, which is just rude.
We told you should have worn the badge.
I should have done.
I mean, it's quite easy to say what the other highlight is because it's 2 words. It's Katz's Deli.
Oh yeah, that as well. I keep recommending that to people.
Yeah, they're not even going to New York. Just recommend it.
To go to the US, just be like, yeah, you go to Katz's Deli. Not going to New York. I don't care. Just go.
Yeah, right. I'm just taking a trip down to London for the weekend to Katz's Deli. Go to New York.
Go there, mate. Yeah, don't bother with London. For the same price as the hotel, you can fly over to New York and get Katz's Deli.
Yeah. Although not again if you're Charlie, because you will order the $50 meat platter.
I'm pretty sure he's still eating that, mate.
I mean, that boy does have eyes significantly bigger than his belly.
Yes.
But we've got to spend, you know, obviously it's been a pleasure spending time with you boys and travelling the world. But, you know, we've managed to have a couple of companions. Scott has been effectively the 4th member of 0 to 60 at times, survived Lille there and back. Surviving being the operative word on the journey back, because I don't think any of us were in a good place at that point.
No, we were all barely alive.
No.
Pretty bad.
I did die.
I did think you had. I mean, we had Adam. We had obviously Charlie was with us for New Jersey. Then you had Charlie again, and also Mr. Canning has been on a couple of trips as well. So I think we've been very lucky in the people we've managed to travel the world. And obviously we had blessed if we got to meet a couple of cool people as well, like your friend Adam, Liam, who I think is the only man who was happier than we were that we managed to top 4. The person who wasn't, obviously Dave Carf, because you'd probably done something to annoy him, Liam, and being not being far too nice. Being far too nice about takes backsies.
Yeah, we're not going at that because I'm expecting a fucking lecture on the 14th of January from him because someone's going to fucking rat me out.
Oh, it's not someone. It will be me. I am very much looking forward to Brooks, telling him how yourself.
You got to make sure I'm there for that one. I need to hear that.
The thing is, he's going to tell him, and I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, I'm going to give. I wasn't even there, but I'm going to give him a series of events which he's not going to believe, but they will be true.
We're not going that. Won't do it.
No, that's one we're saving for David face to face because he needs to enjoy that one, and he needs to have you within arm's length to be able to just grip you around the neck and take you outside and have a quiet word.
Yeah,
and he will. Well, no, I think, I think for me, not including Madrid because it's almost just too easy. Although I would say that that was the hottest place I've ever been to.
Oh God, yeah.
There was a lot of positives, but that was a negative of there. That was the hottest, and we also had the worst. In fact, I would say that was as much as Katz's Deli was the best meal we've ever had. We also had the worst meal in Madrid at that steak place on the first night.
What do you mean the steak place that didn't serve us potatoes with the steak that promised us an amount of steak that we didn't get?
I don't know what you mean, mate. Those potatoes are still coming.
There's a lot of things still happening, isn't
there? They're coming. They're going to arrive at the same time we're playing in the Call-In in the UK. It's going to be great. They're all coming at the same time. I believe.
It was just. I just remember sat there, first night, we'll enjoy this, and then this cold. Like they cooked it for someone else and then just brought it out to us because that person had run away. So you can have this cold, about 2 slices of steak each. there's no sides, despite being promised sides, and then presenting us with an astronomically large bill for it.
Yeah, it's the only time I can ever say the nicest part about that steak was the salt that came on top.
Yeah.
Unfortunately true.
That's
It's
genuinely
a sad
accurate.
state of affairs for steak, to be honest.
Is there any meals that you put above Katz's Deli?
Yeah, I'm not sure anything can compete with that one for me.
I mean, I very
Liam's
much
answer is
enjoyed the
probably
steak
anytime
we
he's
had on
had a
the last
steak.
night.
I'm not a fiend.
Well, you are, but there's many different ways of defining why you are.
Also, this is the guy who very nearly bankrupted himself when we were at Worlds just to get a steak.
Oh, it was like a 35-ounce ribeye, man. No porterhouse. I don't know if I regret that decision or not. Still,
He's still debating it, and but he's not a fiend. It's okay.
I should have gone bankrupt. I think.
Quite happily would have traded all that.
I didn't do anything on the next day anyway. I didn't even eat.
No, you didn't. To be fair, you could have spent that money.
I could have spent I ended up with like $20 when I got back home. I was like, I don't even need this. I could have spent it on that steak. I went out. If I'd have died that day, I'd have died a happy man.
To be fair, we had the restaurant for the last night in Madrid was really good as well.
That was spectacular.
Well, I think you got the most. You two got the most ridiculous burger. I did go for the steak, and there was like 2 steaks, both of which were way, way, way bigger than they needed to be. And Lester had that weird like escalope thing that was also really tasty.
Yeah, that was fantastic. We had
Yeah,
some
that
good places.
That was the first time I tried thingy, wasn't it?
Patatas Bravas. That was why we went.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Yes,
you were
yes.
determined to find somewhere to get him to try Patatas Bravas.
Was
And he
not
loved
disappointed. I liked it that much. I drank his drink, and then he told me that I was drinking his drink, and for some reason I didn't hear him when he sat next to me.
He just carried on.
I carried on. Sorry, Brooks.
And it was just the point at which you went, "Was that yours?" And I went, "I literally said that 2 minutes ago. You pretty much you carried on."
That's the thing. People could probably call me like ignorant at that point. I genuinely did not hear them words come out of your mouth.
I mean, it explains a lot your selective hearing. Let's face it.
It's not selective. It's just non-existent. Like when I told Scott about Greg.
That. I think I'm
Yeah,
pretty
but
sure.
I think existential crisis.
More, you need
did,
to give people a little bit more context around what you said about Greg's.
All right. So obviously we're on the trip home from Lille. I'm dying because I think the all-you-can-eat buffet is just absolutely slaughtered me for some reason the day before. And I'm like, I just need something to eat. I've just got off the ferry. Brooks is fueling up. I'm going inside this petrol station where it's Greg's. I walk in, it's closed. There's fucking nothing left. So I'm walking out, pissed off, get in the car. And then Scott goes, I thought you were getting a Greg's. And I was like, it doesn't exist anymore. And then Scott's having this crisis. So it's like Greg's has gone under in like 3 days. And I'm sat there thinking, I didn't literally mean it doesn't exist anymore, but I don't know why the words came out of my mouth in the first place.
Instead of going for the classic, it's closed. He decided to go for it doesn't exist.
This is the thing. This is a point where we'd been probably drive. I mean, I did the French leg of the driving, but we'd done a full day at the call-in. We'd done 2 or 3 hours worth of driving at that point. Hour and a half, 2 hours on the ferry. Looking at another 5 hours worth of driving, and he's already gone to the extent that he thinks that Greg's is just a figment of his imagination.
Look, I was dying. I did die that day.
You know, as Lady Macbeth, is this a spot? He was like, is this a steak bake? Is this real?
I'm pretty sure it got that bad. Like, when you two were passed out in the back, me and George were talking about, like, fucking quantum physics or something. Fucking teleportation. Like
we were chatting all sorts of shit, mate.
We were going down some deep hole just to distract my brain from the suffering I was in.
Yeah, that was probably the longest day I've ever had, because obviously we did and thanks again to George for helping out with the driving. You know, all day at the call-in, Lille set off, get to Dunkirk to Dover to Manchester to Blackpool back to Manchester, and then finally sleep. That was a long ass day.
That was a seriously long day, though. I don't know. The flight back from Worlds was up there for the longest day. I think
that
for
didn't
me.
seem as bad as going.
I mean,
think for me the flight there was the longest thing ever.
Yeah, but your knee wasn't absolutely fucked on the way back, so you know
That
I was in agony.
That is true.
But obviously we had the flight back from New Jersey wasn't just a cakewalk. I did punch Charlie at one stage, and
No.
then we had
I don't
also
know.
the infinite the Frappuccino incident.
Oh yes.
He's a fucking idiot. Like you come with fucking Starbucks after we just queued for ages, and then Charlie's like, "I want one of those." I'm like, "Charlie, it's a 20-minute walk that way, a 20-minute walk back, and a fucking half an hour queue. We're flying in like 2 minutes. I'm going anyway."
It was very much for those that have watched Lord of the Rings when Merry walks back with a pint, and then Pippin goes, "What's that? A pint? It comes in pints. I want one." It's like, you don't need this. You have a drink. And then the fact that our flight got delayed.
Mate, the worst part about it all was the fucking smug look at his face when he made it back in time.
I mean, if that boy would have happily just strode onto the airport, onto the airplane, sat down next to us and just gave us a massive fucking grin while he supped that thing. But that flight was also responsible for giving us salvo mode on battleships, which that must have passed a good 5 hours on the flight.
We have discovered all of the absolutely terrible games that you get on flights at this point and played the shit out of them.
We did quizzes.
We did, yes.
We did Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
We did checkers that lasted like 2 seconds after George absolutely wiped the floor on me. That wasn't fun. We did chess. We did like 10 games of chess.
You lasted longer in chess, to be fair, than you did in checkers.
I think we did
not in the games, but
we did about 10 games. I think it was 5 on the way out, 5 on the way back, and I went 0-10 because this guy for some reason is fucking Magnus Carlsen.
I was going to say, this didn't have to be Utrecht, because I was going to say, because then you would have had a really bad weekend.
It wasn't Utrecht.
It wasn't. This was Worlds.
This was Worlds. It was fucking ridiculous.
This is what happens when I'm not there, just to break up the monotony.
The thing also, he kept like convincing me I was getting close to beating him, and every time he convinced me I was getting close to beating him, I'd choke it. And he'd be like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that 16 moves ago." What do you mean?
It paints me in a bad light here. To be fair, he genuinely was close to beating me at some point, and then he'd fuck up.
It was, yeah. I had fun losing, to be fair.
It was good.
To be fair, that's probably about as stressful as me going shopping in Utrecht. Got told everywhere's pretty much cashless, so didn't really take many euros with me. Anyway, the first thing we go is we'll go to a little supermarket. We'll get some bits in because it just keeps the prices down a bit. First thing, cash only. You're kidding? So Scott very kindly lends me the cash, and I send him some. We then go into the next place. Yeah, it's cash only. For fuck's sake. Then try and get some cash out to try and then have some money for the rest of the thing. That doesn't work. And I get someone coming up behind me, sort of tapping me on the shoulder, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. And then everywhere else. Then when I finally get those euros, everywhere else we went into was bloody card only. Honestly, and I ended up being stuck with like four, must have been about 40, 50 euros by the time I got back. I'd only got out like 60. But the two places you went to first were cash only.
It was funny.
I was getting well stressed.
Good job we have plenty of other opportunities to spend euros, really, mate.
Oh god, I know. It was like, if it wasn't for Lille, I'd have been furious. Because I'll tell you what, the exchange rate in that little cash point was not favourable.
No, I can imagine it wasn't stellar, to be honest.
No, I got absolutely rinsed for those 60 euros.
That sounds like my entire Utrecht experience, to be honest.
Yeah, I think, despite all of that for Brooks, by the sounds of it, obviously I wasn't there, it does sound like you still had the worst Utrecht experience by far and away, Liam.
I mean, it pretty much sums up my turbulent year, to be honest. Fucking, like, New Jersey down here, Madrid up there, Utrecht down here, Lille up there.
No, you didn't
Nice.
go. You did not go low enough for Utrecht, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like on the floor. I was like buried, very very deep. I was bad that day. That week. That week was bad for me. But I redeemed myself. I cashed a Pro Tour. I'm on
Yeah,
Foley.
and I mean, you also made yourself feel better by torturing Brooks on the flight back.
That is
You
true.
did.
That is true.
You did. You also got a cherry milkshake from McDonald's, which cheered you up.
Yeah, to be fair, honestly, the best part about Utrecht was actually going home. Scott getting recognised in McDonald's.
I was just about to say that. I wasn't even there. The best thing that happened to
Honestly,
me was Scott getting recognised.
This guy's just not doing his food. He's having a conversation with him. I was like, he just recognised you, the Scott Howling Mines, winding him up there with a cherry milkshake, happy as life. And then Scott wanders off onto his flight, and I'm like, sat next to Brooks. We're on a delayed flight. We're both getting a bit, and for some reason, the words that come out of my mouth is that time doesn't exist.
Obviously.
And Brooks loses his absolute shit.
It just I'd got wound down enough. We got this Mackey's at the airport. There was a mouse running round, which was making me feel uncomfortable. I was trying to eat. I just wanted to get on the flight, get home, put Utrecht behind us, and move on to the next thing. And he then just decides to perk up with, time doesn't exist, only clocks do, and that was it. I was gone. I didn't bite. I literally swallowed the thing whole. I was like, that was it, and I just went off on a rant.
But I didn't stop. I kept it going. It was amazing. It was so funny.
But,
Listen, sometimes in life, you just got to make other people around you feel worse than you do.
And
Again,
that is Liam's sage advice for the year: is everybody out there just make other people feel worse than you do.
You don't know.
Again, this is what Oldham players do.
If you don't know, just make sure that your friend that's travelled with you all around the world feels worse than you do.
When you're down, grab someone else and bite their ankles till they're at the same level as you. Sage advice as always from 0 to 60.
This is what happens when I don't go with you guys. Bloody hell. Leave you alone for one trip, honestly.
Well, it's like all of us need to be there because that gives Scott the best chance of cashing because that's when he does best. And let's just do more team events because then we do well. Because we can't trust Liam on his own. Because
there's a 50-50 chance I do well.
Yeah, basically we need to give you food poisoning the night before.
We do. We are going to have to start poisoning him.
Like 6 events, 3 went bad and 3 went good.
Yeah, you take it. But we are very slowly coming up to the hour mark, gents. And as soon as we are at 0 to 60, we really should get these things done in 60 minutes. So, as a final, not a vexing malice, but what's your resounding memory of this year that you want to cherish and take forward into next year? You've got 30 seconds, Liam.
It's too fucking many.
That's cheating. 1.
Do I have to pick a specific memory?
Liam,
yes.
Liam, you got 2 minutes. Go.
Oh, you're taking the piss. But...
And this, boys and girls, is how I create my memories.
You know what? I have to go.
Spawning things on Liam.
The number one moment for me, as much as top 8 and that's was brilliant. After I thought it all disappeared in front of me, and cashed a Pro Tour on the last game. The moment that Adam went nuts for us topping the top, like getting top 4 in the calling, will always be with me because we did it. We did a little celebration. I turned around and spoke to him. He went absolutely fucking nuts on me, and then ran over to you two and went nuts on you. So I think I have to go with that one because it brightened up the day for me even more. So,
George, how about you?
I mean, I guess I already said obviously the trip for the Pro Tour one for the first one, but I think as an individual moment, as that one bit, it's got to be opening the gold foils at Leo with you guys, and then obviously me opening Shock Charmers was just the perfect thing. Like, obviously it was a big decision to sell them on, and I don't regret it, but just having the memory of opening that and it being the exact thing that I talked about earlier that day. Was unbelievable, and doing all that with you guys, like I say.
Yeah. See, for me, I think it's actually more podcast related. It was the first time that someone actually recognised me and also you two from as much as we take the piss out of Scott for actually doing the podcast. That someone who I've got absolutely no idea who they were. Is a lovely bloke from Norway. Actually, wait, aren't you the? I've heard of you before. So have you? He's like, yeah. This was in Lille, not Lille, Madrid. He's like, yeah, you do a podcast? And I was like, oh shit, I can't tell these two because they're just going to rip the shit out of me because I've seen what they've done to Scott. But it's the point at which someone actually noticed that these three weird blokes from Manchester who just seem to actually get along and have a chat. And even outside of just recording these, play, Marvel Champions till stupid o'clock and eat far too much fish and chips is actually good for us. Actually do this and actually enjoy listening to us. So I think on that ever so slightly soppy note, I think it's time to end. So I think that's it for 2022 as well. So hopefully 2023's got just as many happy memories for all of us.
Yeah, excited to get into it, to be honest.
Very much so.
Well, gents, 2022 has been an absolute pleasure, and I'm very much looking forward to 2023. And to anyone who's still listening, thank you very much, and we'll catch you next year.
Yeah.
Bye.